If inflation is one of your biggest concerns in 2026, the obvious question is whether you should own TIPS or regular U.S. Treasuries. At first, the answer seems simple. Regular Treasuries protect your nominal dollars. TIPS are specifically designed to protect purchasing power against inflation. So why not just choose TIPS? Because inflation protection is not free, and TIPS do not automatically outperform simply because inflation is currently elevated. What matters is not only how high inflation is today. What matters is how future inflation compares with what the bond market already expects. If inflation turns out higher than expected, TIPS can gain an important relative advantage. If inflation falls faster than expected, regular treasuries can come out ahead. And to understand why, we first need to separate nominal return from real return. Let's begin with a simpler instrument, a regular treasury. A regular U.S. Treasury promises nominal cash flows. Imagine buying a treasury with a $1,000 face value. You receive fixed coupon payments, and if you hold the bond to maturity, you receive the principal according to its terms. The dollar amount is known, but the purchasing power of those dollars is not. Suppose inflation averages 2%. The purchasing power erosion is relatively moderate. If inflation unexpectedly averages 5%, those same fixed payments buy significantly less. This is why nominal return and real return are not the same thing. A simplified way to think about it is real return is roughly your nominal return minus inflation. So regular treasuries can be extremely useful for preserving nominal capital and generating predictable cash flows. But unexpected inflation is their major weakness. TIPS were created specifically to address that problem, and instead of simply paying a higher coupon, they change something more fundamental, the principal itself. Treasury Inflation-Protected Securities, or TIPS, adjust their principal based on changes in the Consumer Price Index. Imagine starting with $1,000 of principal. If the inflation adjustment increases that principal to $1,050, the fixed coupon rate is then applied to that higher inflation-adjusted amount. So both the value used to calculate interest and the amount ultimately associated with the security can rise with inflation. During deflation, the adjusted principal can also move lower. But for an individual TIPS held to maturity, the Treasury provides an important floor. You receive at least the original principal amount at maturity. That makes TIPS fundamentally different from a normal treasury. A nominal treasury tells you how many dollars you will receive. A TIPS tries to preserve what those dollars can buy. But this creates an important question. If inflation protection is so useful, why wouldn't everyone always choose TIPS? Because investors already know inflation exists, and the bond market puts a price on that expectation. That brings us directly to the inflation setup in 2026. In July 2026, headline U.S. inflation was running around 3.4% year over year, while core inflation was around 2.5%. But those numbers tell us what happened over the previous 12 months. Bond investors care about what happens next, and in mid-August, market-based inflation expectations were much lower than the latest headline CPI number. 5-year break-even inflation was around 2.25%, while the 10-year measure was roughly 2.3%. That difference is critical. Current inflation around 3.4% does not mean the market expects 3.4% inflation for the next decade. The bond market is effectively pricing a much lower average rate. So buying TIPS because today's CPI number looks high is not enough. You need to ask whether future inflation will actually come in above what investors already expect. And there is one number designed to summarize that competition between TIPS and nominal treasuries: break-even inflation. Break-even inflation is one of the most useful concepts in the entire bond market. At a simplified level, take the yield on a nominal treasury and subtract the real yield on a TIPS security with a similar maturity. The difference gives you an approximate break-even inflation rate. Imagine a 10-year nominal treasury yielding 4.5% and a 10-year TIPS offering a real yield of 2.2%. The difference is roughly 2.3%. That means if inflation averages above roughly 2.3% over the period, TIPS would generally be expected to look better relative to the nominal Treasury, all else equal. If inflation averages below that level, the regular Treasury tends to have the advantage. And if inflation lands almost exactly on the break-even, the results can be broadly similar. This changes the entire question. You are not simply asking whether inflation is high, you are asking whether inflation will be higher or lower than the market has already priced in. And once you think that way, we can create a very simple three-scenario comparison. Let's assume the market has priced a break-even inflation rate around 2.3%. Now imagine three simplified scenarios. In the first, inflation averages only 1.5%. That is significantly below what the market expected. In that environment, regular treasuries would generally have the relative advantage. In the second scenario, inflation averages almost exactly 2.3%. Now, the two investments may produce broadly similar outcomes before considering other market effects. And in the third scenario, inflation averages 4%. That is a major upside inflation surprise. Now, the inflation adjustments inside TIPS become much more valuable, and TIPS would generally be expected to outperform nominal treasuries. But notice the phrase I keep using, generally expected. Because if you sell before maturity, bond prices are affected by much more than realized inflation. Yields move, expectations move, and real yields move too. That leads to one of the biggest misconceptions investors have about TIPS, the idea that rising inflation automatically means rising TIPS prices. TIPS provide inflation protection. They do not provide price stability. That distinction is extremely important. Imagine inflation remains elevated. That inflation adjustment can help the security. But at the same time, real interest rates rise sharply. When real yields rise, existing TIPS can fall in market value, especially if they have significant duration. So you can have a period where inflation is high and the TIPS ETF is still losing money. This is not a failure of the inflation protection mechanism. It is interest rate risk, and duration determines how sensitive the bond is to those yield movements. Short-duration TIPS generally experience less price sensitivity. Long-duration TIPS can move much more dramatically. There is another important distinction. An individual TIPS held to maturity has a specific maturity date. A TIPS ETF is a continuously managed portfolio whose market price fluctuates every day. So saying TIPS protect against inflation should never be translated into a TIPS ETF cannot lose money. Once that is clear, we can make a more practical comparison at the short end of the bond market. Short TIPS versus Treasury bills. If you want relatively low duration risk, you can compare short duration TIPS exposure with short-term nominal treasuries. A fund like VTIP focuses on shorter maturity inflation-protected securities. You still get the inflation adjustment mechanism, but with less duration sensitivity than a broad TIPS portfolio. On the nominal side, something like SGOV gives you exposure to treasury bills with extremely short maturities. Those bills mature quickly and continually reset toward current short-term market rates. So the decision comes down to what you are trying to protect. If purchasing power is the priority and you are concerned that inflation will surprise higher, short TIPS can be useful. If nominal stability, liquidity, and extremely low interest rate sensitivity matter more, T-bills may be the cleaner tool. Neither one is universally superior. They solve different problems. And once you move beyond short maturities, the differences become much more dramatic because duration starts doing more of the work. Before we move into those bigger duration bets, one quick interruption. If you want more fixed income analysis that explains what is actually happening underneath the yield, subscribe to Boring Money Wins and hit the like button. Bonds can look simple because the numbers are smaller and the price charts are less exciting than stocks or Bitcoin. But the interaction between inflation, real yields, duration, and taxes can completely change the outcome. And that becomes especially important with broader TIPS funds, because the moment you move farther out on the maturity spectrum, you are no longer making only an inflation decision, you are making a duration decision at the same time. So let's compare broad TIPS exposure with intermediate and longer-term nominal treasuries. Funds such as TIP or SCHP provide diversified exposure across a broader range of Treasury inflation-protected securities. That makes them convenient inflation protection tools, but they also carry more duration than very short TIP strategies, and duration changes the equation. With TIPS, your market price is influenced by changes in real yields plus the inflation adjustment. With nominal treasuries, prices respond primarily to changes in nominal yields. So choosing between TIPS and regular treasuries is only the first decision. The second question is how much duration you want. A short-duration inflation-protected fund may behave relatively conservatively. A longer-duration TIPS portfolio can experience significant price moves when real yields change. The same is true on the nominal side. Intermediate and long-term treasuries can generate substantial gains if yields fall, but substantial losses if yields rise. So when someone simply says, buy TIPS because inflation is high, the analysis is incomplete. You need an inflation view and a duration view. And one scenario where that distinction becomes especially important is when inflation begins falling faster than investors expected. Imagine inflation continues falling throughout the next several years, not just toward the market's expected level, but below it. Break-even inflation could decline. Investors may become less willing to pay for inflation protection, and regular nominal treasuries could gain a relative advantage. Now add a recession scenario. Economic growth weakens, inflation falls, investors seek safer assets, nominal treasury yields decline. In that environment, intermediate or longer duration nominal treasuries could potentially generate meaningful capital gains as yields fall. This is exactly why buying TIPS after an inflation scare does not guarantee success. If everybody is already expecting high inflation, the protection can be expensive. And if inflation then surprises to the downside, you paid for protection against the risk that turned out to be smaller than expected. So TIPS are most interesting when the market underestimates future inflation, which naturally gives us the opposite scenario. What happens if inflation surprises higher again? Suppose the bond market expects inflation around 2.3%, but actual inflation averages 4% or more. That is exactly the type of surprise TIPS are designed to protect against. Their principal adjusts upward with CPI. That increases the inflation-linked value of the security and gives TIPS a relative advantage over nominal treasuries whose principal remains fixed. This becomes especially interesting in a stagflation environment. Inflation remains stubbornly high while economic growth weakens. Nominal bonds can struggle because their fixed payments are being eroded by inflation. TIPS at least have the inflation adjustment mechanism working in their favor. But even here, there is an important warning. If real yields also rise sharply, TIPS prices can still fall. They may perform better than comparable nominal treasuries and still produce a negative market return. Relative protection does not mean guaranteed profit. That is one of the most important distinctions in this entire video. And there is another piece of TIPS investing that often gets much less attention than inflation and duration: taxes. TIPS can create an unusual tax issue when held directly inside a taxable account. You have the coupon interest, but you can also have taxable income associated with the inflation adjustment to principal. The strange part is that the principal adjustment increases the value of the security even though you may not actually receive that additional principal in cash until maturity. That is why investors sometimes describe this as phantom income. You may owe federal income tax on economic income that has not yet arrived in your bank account. Like other Treasury securities, qualifying Treasury income also generally receives favorable treatment from state and local income taxes. But at the federal level, the taxation of inflation adjustments can make individual TIPS less convenient in taxable accounts. That is one reason some investors prefer holding TIPS inside tax-advantaged retirement accounts. The exact treatment depends on whether you hold individual securities or a fund, and your personal tax circumstances. But the broader lesson is simple. Inflation protection should be evaluated after taxes, not just before taxes. And taxes are not the only difference between owning individual TIPS and owning a TIPS ETF. The maturity structure matters too. Individual TIPS and TIPS ETFs can both provide inflation protection, but they solve different portfolio problems. With individual TIPS, you know the maturity date. That makes it possible to match bonds with future spending needs. For example, you could build a ladder with securities maturing in 2028, 2030, 2032, and 2034. Each maturity can be associated with a future retirement expense, and because each individual security eventually matures, you're not forced to sell it at whatever market price happens to exist at that moment. A TIPS ETF is different. You get immediate diversification, liquidity, and automatic portfolio management. But the fund itself does not have one final maturity date. It continually owns and replaces bonds, so its NAV can remain exposed to changing real yields indefinitely. That makes ETFs convenient for general inflation exposure. But if you are trying to fund a known future liability, individual TIPS or a dedicated TIPS ladder can sometimes provide a more precise match. And once we combine inflation expectations, duration, taxes, and structure, the final strategy becomes much clearer. So, how should you think about TIPS versus regular treasuries in 2026? If your biggest concern is unexpected inflation that turns out higher than what the market currently expects, TIPS deserve serious consideration. If you expect disinflation, recession, or inflation to fall below current market expectations, nominal treasuries may offer the stronger relative opportunity. If your priority is short-term nominal stability and liquidity, treasury bills remain difficult to beat. If you want short-term purchasing power protection with relatively limited duration exposure, short-duration TIPS can fill that role. And if you genuinely do not know which inflation scenario will win, you do not need to make an all-or-nothing bet. A portfolio can combine nominal treasuries and TIPS. That way, one side provides predictable nominal cash flows, while the other provides protection against inflation surprising higher. The key takeaway is not to ask whether inflation is high today. Today's inflation number is already public information. Ask whether future inflation will be higher or lower than what the bond market has already priced in. Then consider duration. Then taxes. Then the job those bonds need to perform inside your portfolio. That is how inflation protection becomes a strategy instead of simply a reaction to the latest CPI headline.